TX down at Hurlbut with Avco partners and Fires partners, et cetera. So that's what your TIDs do. And I don't mean to be pejorative. There's some indoor cat, outdoor cat kind of things. Your Tillums are outdoor cats. FCD guys, mostly indoor cats. Will drag folks along with them. But that's what a TID does, and I am indeed the maneuver TID director, and look forward to your questions here in a bit.
Hi, I'm James Brandt. Thanks, Scott, for a nice cat dragging analogy there. It really helped me get a good sense of humor going on here. So he really has outlined what the TID has done, and I think it's important for us to just highlight that this organization does accelerate the pace that we're integrating capability into the force, and it's doing that through, all the framework of .mil-PF with a little m as we talk about that, and it allows us to build that organizational structure or the training in pace alongside what you're doing in industry, right? Sometimes the material solution will drive how we decide to adopt something, and sometimes we have a capability requirement and we're asking you to build it. So let's use the MV-75 as an example. That decision's been made. It's a fantastic capability that's coming, piece of technology. What are we doing to get ahead of it? We created something called an operational development team so that we can learn alongside of it and develop the doctrine, if you will, because it goes further and faster, and so it changes the nature of how we do certain things, as well as the organization and what training. We learn the maintenance techniques along the way so that we can accelerate the pace from when it's finally finished to where it can actually be operational in a unit, hopefully on day one when it gets there. So another piece about the TID is that we have the TILM and DOTD and so on. Since I'm the TILM manager, I'll just talk briefly about that. We have all the portfolios, and aviation is much more material-centric, right, in the past. And so the TILM itself should be sort of platform agnostic, not just managing those portfolios, but also gathering lessons from the force, what is working and what isn't working. So we're the direct input from the brigade level aviation brigades, and we work in parallel, right, with the Maneuver Center of Excellence, right, to understand things like UAS and the boundary between maybe the small PBAS systems and the brigade level UAS is going. And we work constantly. I've been up there 2 times already to Fort Benning in just the last month, coordinating with my counterparts to make sure that we can kind of define our lanes and talk about, coordinate our efforts. So with that, I think I'll turn it over to General Gill. Sir, thanks.
Okay, thanks, James. I got a couple softball questions here about what are challenges and success kind of things, but I think the 2 TID directors and TLM manager brought up something about, naturally there are gaps and seams. I mean, each of us does something slightly different, and that can be said across the Army, right? So we have 6 different portfolio acquisition executives that look at different problems. But if you were to see some of our charts, there's sort of concentric circles with just more circles around them where there's overlap, right? And when there's overlap, it's like, well, is that your job or is that my job? And so I'm going to ask you guys maybe to address, how do we, and this might come back to you guys in the CPE, how do we address when it's like, is that a fires aspect or is that an aviation aspect? Is that that's a small UAS, that's probably brigade and below, let's put that on the maneuver center, versus it's something that looks a little more aviation like an airplane and we want to manage that in the aviation portfolio?
I talk more to Sean O'Keefe, the TID director at Aviation, than I do almost to my spouse. Like, Sean and I are the pig at breakfast. We're committed. We're not the chicken, right? We're not interested. So every single day, Sean's on leave right now. I mean, this is how tight that we are. Sean's on leave right now. I know where he's at. And he and I were still trading teams yesterday. We haven't texted today because we're not teenagers. But like constant talk to our aviation counterparts. I sat down more with the 150 and 140 at JRTC than I did with the brigade commander, with a peer, another infantry officer. So, I mean, it is constant communication with us and the aviation center, like James said, at the TILM to TILM, TID director to TID director. I would imagine the same thing with the FCD director to the FCD director, and I know for a fact it is because I see General Tooley's calendar, with General Tooley and General Gill, right? I mean, and the same thing I would imagine with General Denemy and General Gibbs and the aviation folks. So it is a near constant talk with us, figuring out who the decision maker is on something. General Gill and I were having a conversation about airspace management in the back before we even started. And that's sorry,